In this episode, we're diving into the pages of history to unveil a side of America often forgotten, a side that has been intentionally overshadowed, yet remains a crucial thread in the fabric of our nation. Before the arrival of European settlers, Native American societies thrived with communal ownership, stewardship of resources, and democratic principles, an indigenous socialism that set the stage for what would follow. Before the arrival of European settlers, the vast expanse of North America was home to a tapestry of indigenous cultures, each with its own unique social, economic, and political systems. These diverse societies shared a common thread of communal values, where the well-being of the community was prioritized over individual gain. Native American tribes practiced a form of communal ownership, where land, resources, and knowledge were shared collectively for the betterment of all. This ethos of stewardship extended to the environment, as indigenous communities recognized the interconnectedness of all life and worked in harmony with nature. As America emerged, so did experiments in communal living. Communities like Robert Owen's New Harmony and George Ripley's Brook Farm embraced socialist principles, sowing seeds for the labor movement. As America emerged as a fledgling nation striving for its identity, a fascinating era of experimentation in communal living began to unfold. Visionaries like Robert Owen, a British industrialist, and George Ripley, a Unitarian minister, spearheaded ambitious social experiments that sought to realize socialist ideals on American soil. Owen's New Harmony in Indiana and Ripley's Brook Farm in Massachusetts were both bold attempts to establish utopian communities where the principles of cooperation, equality, and shared ownership were central tenets. Fast forward to the 1800s, and the organized labor movement gained momentum. Unions formed, workers fought for their rights, and the struggles for fair wages and better working conditions echoed across the nation. Fast forward to the transformative 19th century, a time of profound industrialization and societal change that would forever reshape the trajectory of the United States. As the nation hurtled towards urbanization and technological advancement, a groundswell of labor activism emerged in response to the stark disparities between the burgeoning capitalist elite and the toiling working class. This era witnessed a remarkable confluence of social and economic forces that culminated in the organized labor movement, gaining unprecedented momentum. The Haymarket Massacre of 1886 marked a turning point, as workers demanded an 8-hour workday. While the event was tragic, it ignited a fire of workers' solidarity, sparking change. The Haymarket Massacre of 1886 stands as a haunting chapter in the annals of labor history, a stark reminder of the immense challenges workers faced as they rallied for their rights in the face of unyielding industrial power. On that fateful day, as Chicago's Haymarket Square became a crucible of tension and struggle, the world watched in shock as violence erupted and lives were forever altered. The tragic loss of lives, including both workers and law enforcement, cast a somber shadow over the labor movement's quest for a more just society. However, even amidst the darkness and sorrow, the Haymarket Massacre ignited a beacon of hope and solidarity that would reverberate across the labor landscape. In the aftermath of the tragedy, the rallying cry for an 8-hour workday gained newfound momentum, becoming a rallying point for workers who refused to be silenced. The memory of those who perished galvanized countless others, serving as a potent reminder of the pressing need for change and the unbreakable bond that united laborers in their shared struggles. Enter Eugene V. Debs, a socialist leader who ran for president multiple times, amplifying the voices of workers and galvanizing socialist ideals. As the 20th century dawned, socialism intertwined with civil rights and equality. Figures like MLK and the Black Panthers fought not only against racial oppression, but also championed socialist values. As the 20th century dawned, a profound and transformative synergy emerged between the tenets of socialism and the impassioned struggle for civil rights and equality. This convergence of ideologies would become a driving force behind some of the most pivotal moments in American history. Figures of indomitable courage and conviction, such as Martin Luther King Jr. and the Black Panthers, stood not only as champions of racial justice, but also as staunch proponents of the principles that underpin socialism. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., an iconic leader in the fight for civil rights, recognized the inseparable link between economic justice and racial equality. He astutely understood that the systemic barriers faced by African Americans were deeply intertwined with the broader structures of economic inequality. King's advocacy for fair wages, improved working conditions, and equitable distribution of resources illuminated the interplay between capitalism's inherent flaws and the fight for racial justice. His eloquent articulation of a radical redistribution of economic and political power highlighted the need to address the socioeconomic roots of racial discrimination. The fight continued through the anti-globalization protests, Occupy movement, BLM, and Bernie Sanders' campaign, all driven by a deep-rooted socialist ethos. The enduring spirit of the socialist ethos continued to shape and inspire transformative movements well into the contemporary era, leaving an indelible mark on the fabric of American activism and political discourse. From the fervent anti-globalization protests that reverberated through the late 20th and early 21st centuries to the Occupy movement's occupation of public spaces in a clarion call for economic equality, the resonating echoes of socialist principles remained ever present. Bernie Sanders' electrifying presidential campaigns, characterized by a resounding call for democratic socialism, further exemplified the enduring vitality of socialist ideals in American politics. Sanders' unwavering commitment to healthcare as a human right, equitable education, and wealth redistribution resonated deeply, with a generation yearning for substantive change. His campaigns ignited a fire in the hearts of millions, galvanizing a movement that tirelessly advocated for a more compassionate and just society. Socialism isn't a new import. It's a long-standing force that shaped America. It's a history of resilience, repression, and progress. It's a call to action, urging us to remember, learn, and join together. Socialism's roots run deep within the very foundations of American history, a fact often overshadowed by misconceptions and deliberate erasure. Its influence has endured countless trials, from the earliest days of Indigenous communalism to the robust labor movements of the 19th century, where the struggles for equitable treatment and worker rights ignited the flame of collective resistance. This historical tapestry of socialism is woven with threads of resilience, as exemplified by the workers who bravely stood against oppressive forces at events like the Haymarket Massacre, a tragic yet pivotal moment that galvanized their commitment to justice. Amid the tumultuous 20th century, socialism emerged as a guiding light in the fight for civil rights, breaking barriers and transcending boundaries. Dr. Martin Luther King Jr., a champion of both racial and economic equality, infused the civil rights movement with socialist ideals, underscoring the inextricable link between social justice and economic transformation. The legacy of socialist movements intertwines with the struggle for LGBTQ+ rights, women's liberation, and environmental justice, showcasing its diverse and inclusive nature. So, let's rewrite the narrative, embrace the legacy, and build a future that honors America's socialist roots. If you found this exploration intriguing, consider supporting us by subscribing, liking, and sharing. And if you want more in-depth content, check out our Nebula channel for exclusive series. Together, we can uncover the hidden chapters of history and shape a more inclusive future.